Welcome! I am so thrilled that you decided to opt into this free training, and I really just want you to take a second to congratulate yourself. I know there's a ton of information online, but I feel that if you were drawn to this and if this message spoke to you, then it's great that you are able to grab it, that you're watching, and that you are here now. So before we begin, I want you guys to download or just click the button underneath this video where you will find a free workbook. And what you can do is you can use that workbook and follow along as we're going through this training. There are so many good gems and nuggets and information in this training, and in order to get the most out of it for yourself, it's important to turn off all distractions, really be present, give yourself the gift of this space and this time. If you want that change in your life, in your business, in your mindset, which we all do, right? We all want that. Then be sure to dedicate this time to you. Turn off your phone, turn off notifications on Facebook, all that stuff, close your door, get out a pen, and get ready to dive in. This is seriously some of the coolest stuff I've learned through being a coach, being a social worker, being a business owner, and this is really gonna propel you to the next level and help you get a deeper understanding of where you're at now and get unstuck. Oh, if you don't know me, if you are new to me, if you are like, who is this chick, by the way? My name is Aaliyah Levinson, and I help women who are struggling with building a business that feels an integrity to them, that really is connected to their heart, to make the impact they wanna make and of course the income they wanna make. But when they get online, they tend to feel a lot of self-doubt, a lot of fear, and just wondering, like, how does everyone do this? How does everyone put themselves out there? How does everyone actually make income and impact online? How can I get my mission and message out there without these thoughts and these worries and these fears and these doubts that continue to hold me back, whether it's perfectionism, procrastination, comparisonitis, all of those interesting words that we've seemed to come up with that actually do ultimately mean that there's some sort of block. And I'm so excited to share that sort of thing with you inside of this training. You know, part of the reason that this is really close to my heart is because this is something I've struggled with continuously throughout running my business. And it wasn't until I got super clear on what those blocks actually were, what I was thinking, and really worked on my mindset in exactly how I'm gonna show you in this training, that a lot of that disappeared for me. Now I know exactly what to do when those blocks come up, and now my clients know exactly what to do when those blocks come up, which has led to some of the biggest wins in my business, in my clients' business, and ultimately just helped everyone feel more fulfilled. That's what this is all about, right? This is all about us living our purpose and feeling fulfilled. So that's a little background on me. You'll learn some more inside the training and after the training video. So enjoy this time. Get what you can out of this, which is a lot, and I will see you inside the video. Where or what are you feeling stuck with when it comes to doing what you're meant to be doing, feeling good in your business, feeling like you're living your truth, like you're being authentic, like you're in integrity? What there are you kind of dealing with? So Lori says, I've struggled with my purpose since I was in high school. I've dabbled in multiple careers and have never gotten the full aha moment with any particular path. Okay, and that makes so much sense. You know, I think a lot of times that we entrepreneurs, especially us who are so excited about a bunch of different things, can dabble in a bunch of different things, right? Because it all feels like an exciting opportunity to us. But when we commit to all these different things, it obviously might make us feel like, oh, you know what? I'm not really choosing one path, or how do I know if this is the right thing for me? How do I have that sense of purpose and sense of clarity? So, okay. So Lori, what would you say? So you said you struggle with your purpose since you were in high school, and are you kind of feeling like that's where you're at now too? Like just in that place of just struggling and wondering what your purpose is. Like if you were to put a thought to this whole thing or a sentence, what would that sentence be for you? So I'll wait a second to hear from Lori on what that sentence would be when it comes to, you know, I'm struggling with my purpose. I'm stuck. Where am I at? Like, and those are all my sentences. So Lori, for you, what would that look like? Or anyone else who is on today? And I'm assuming there's a delay. Let's see. Okay. So Lori says, even now, even though I'm in a direction I enjoy, I don't feel I'm fully aligned with who I am meant to be in this business. I don't feel like the person I feel I am inside. Okay, totally. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna put this into this chart. So right now, Lori, it sounds like the thought you have, what you shared was, even though I'm in a direction I enjoy, I don't feel I'm fully aligned with who I'm meant to be in this business. So we're gonna say that Lori's thought is, I'm not fully aligned with who I'm meant to be in this business, okay? So let me just jot this down. So her thought is, I'm not fully aligned with who I'm meant to be in this biz, okay? So Lori, tell me, when you're having this thought, right? When you're really sitting in this, it's like, I'm not who I'm meant to be fully in my business. So when you're thinking this, what feeling does that bring up for you? So when you're having that thought, you know, I'm really not who I feel inside, I'm not aligned, what sort of feeling does that generate in you? And I will wait a second for Lori to answer that. She might be answering, but we got a little delay. So take some time, right? It's like when we're having this thought of, I'm not fully aligned, I'm just not there, I'm not in the direction I want to be. Okay, what would that make you feel? So Lori says, I feel stressed, I feel panicky, I feel unsure if it's the path I should be on. I also feel inauthentic. Totally. And that makes so much sense, right? Because if you're having the thought, I'm not fully aligned, I'm not who I'm meant to be in this business, then it makes complete sense that Lori's gonna feel stressed, she's gonna feel panicked, unsure, like just not really certain, okay? So of those things, I'm gonna put stressed since it's the first thing you put. So when she has the thought that she's not fully aligned with who she's meant to be in this business, her feeling is stressed, okay? So Lori, what happens when you're thinking I'm not fully aligned, you're feeling stressed? What do you typically do? Like, what would you say is the action that you usually take when you're feeling that stress, feeling inauthentic? What sort of actions do you take when you're sitting in that feeling? I'm gonna take a swig of water while we are waiting for technology to catch up with us. So Lori says, I become paralyzed. I don't do anything. Okay. So her action is not do anything. Okay. So again, this makes total sense, right? Lori's not feeling fully aligned, which is making her feel stressed out, right? Her thought is, I'm not fully aligned. Her feeling is stress, right? And so of course, when you're stressed and your thought is, I'm not fully aligned, what are you gonna do? It's not like you're gonna be like, yay, let's go take a bunch of different action and email a bunch of different people and learn a bunch of different new things. You're probably gonna sit there like, I'm stressed, I'm freaking stressed out, right? So the action is to not do anything. Lori says all forward momentum is halted. Exactly, right? So not moving in a certain direction and just feeling completely paralyzed, which makes tons and tons of sense. So what is her result from not feeling fully aligned, then feeling stressed, not doing anything? Her result, Lori, what would you say your result is? Lori kind of said that no forward momentum, she's halted. So Lori, you could comment, you know, what your result is for you. In the meantime, I'm gonna put no forward momentum. No forward momentum. Okay. I hope you guys bear with my bad handwriting. So, okay. So, do you guys see how, because of this one thought, right? Because of this thought she's having right now, presently, I'm not fully aligned, it's gonna create the feeling of stress, right? When you're thinking, I'm not aligned, I'm not aligned, I'm not aligned, you're most likely not gonna be like, oh yay, I'm aligned, let me go out and like explode my business and talk to all these people. No. When you're feeling like I'm not aligned, I'm not aligned, I'm not aligned, when you're having that thought, your feeling is gonna be, well, I'm so stressed out, right? Like you wanna be aligned and you're thinking you're not, so of course you're gonna feel stressed, right? Lori says, I either end up feeling that I'm going backwards or I never grow as a person I feel I want to be. Totally. That makes tons of sense, right? Because when you're having this thought, I'm unaligned, of course you're going to feel like, well, I'm not going forward, and well, I'm stressed out, and the action is to not do anything, feel paralyzed, and then not move forward, right? Okay, so we can start to see how this whole thing is a circle, right? If your result is no forward momentum, your result is always gonna prove the thought, right? So if your thought is I'm not fully aligned, then your result, of course, is gonna be no momentum moving forward because you're not feeling fully aligned. So the result proves the thought and the thought proves the result, and of course there's this feeling of stress involved, right? So, okay, let me ask, and so Lori says, yep, I'll never be that person. I'll always be the person I am in the moment. Totally. Exactly, right? Because you're having this thought, right? Lori even wrote it down. I'll never be that person, right? So when you're having the thought, well, I'm never that person. I'm never the person who's going to be aligned. I'm never the person who's going to be aligned. Guess who's not going to be the person who's going to be aligned? You, right? So this is a pattern, and we all go through these patterns of thinking, right? Our brain wants to think the same exact way that it always has because that is the way that is easiest for our brain, right? Our brain wants to do things in a really easy, really simple way. So when we tell our brain new information, like, guess what, brain? I really want to be fully aligned. As much as we want that thing, our brain's going to be like, girl, you are not fully aligned. You've never been fully aligned. Nice try getting fully aligned, right? So there's such a disconnect. And what we have to do is we have to figure out what thoughts would help us get the result that we want most. Okay, so now we're gonna move into our future self. So Lori, what would you say is the results, kind of like in this arena, that you want most when it comes to alignment, like, or purpose? Like if you could have anything really that you're like, this would be the most amazing thing when it comes to my purpose, when it comes to alignment, when it comes to feeling in the flow, what would that thing be for you? Okay, we'll take a second here and wait for Lori to answer her technology to catch up. So as we're waiting, we'll kind of just go through this again, right? All of these things that we have in our head as truths about us are simply thoughts that we are choosing, right? And when we choose a thought, I'm not fully aligned, it's gonna feel just like a truth because we're like, this is a fact, I'm not fully aligned. But really, it's a thought that we are choosing. And the more and more we think it, the more and more it becomes a truth for us. And as we can see, when that becomes a truth for us, our result is always going to be no forward momentum, right? So we get stuck in this circle, and most people stay in this circle of thinking. Okay, so Lori says, whoa, big question. Yes, thank you for bearing with me, Lori. So Lori says, I would love to be a calm person who is able to help others learn how to find their purpose and passions in life through natural health and wellness. I want to lead by example and use my testimony as a teacher. That is so beautiful. I 100% love that. So this is the result that Lori wants most. She wants to be a calm person who's able to help others. So Lori, of that paragraph, because I love it, could you give like what, could you narrow it down just a little bit? So what would be like the big thing? Would it be being a calm person who, you know, who could help others? Is it helping people find their purpose? Just to get a little bit more clear on what that is. Is it leading by example? So when we do these, we want to get kind of like a clear sentence of what that thought is, what that feeling is, what that action is, what that result is. Because if you guys are like me, then it's like you could just go on, and it's like, well, I want $1 million house, I want a fabulous group of friends, I want this, this, and that. But when we're doing this, it's important to stick to just one thing so we can get really, really clear on how to fill this out in order to get that thing. Okay, be an inspirational leader. Love it. Okay, amazing. So the results that Lori wants most is to be an inspirational leader. Be an inspirational leader. Okay. Okay, so totally, and that's amazing and so beyond possible. Ooh, so there's like a ring of light around here, but this says be an inspirational leader. So, okay, so Lori, for you, what feeling do you think, right, so, and Lori says, it sounds so unrealistic when I say it though. And that makes complete sense, right? Because right now, what we've figured out is your mind, right? Like all of our brains have a way of working. And right now, it sounds like you're in this kind of pattern, right? So having the thought that I'm not fully aligned and having that thought on repeat over and over and over. So when we go to a result like this, be an inspirational leader, which is the thing that you want most, it makes so much sense that you're like, well, that is freaking crazy. I am not gonna be an inspirational leader, right? Because you're so used to thinking this thought. So what we have to do is we have to figure out the best way for you to start believing this thought. So my question is, what would you need to feel? Like, what sort of feeling do you think you would need in order to be an inspirational leader? Like, or what do you think that being an inspirational leader would make you feel? What sort of feelings would come up for you? You know, excitement, inspired. What do you think it would take to feel to become that inspirational leader? Okay, so Lori says confident. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna put that here. Confidence. Okay, so Lori would need to have the feeling of just total confidence in order to be that inspirational leader. She also says brave, interesting, all of those, amazing. So confident or brave or interesting, those are all things that she needs to feel in order to have this result. So Lori, of those things, either confident, brave, or interesting, what thought would help you have that feeling? So what thought would you need to have, and what thought would you need to practice in order to have that feeling of confidence, in order to have that feeling of bravery? What would be the thought that would lead you to that feeling? I'm interesting and of value. Yes. Okay, so I'm interesting and of value. So this is where it gets so interesting, guys, because I could tell Lori all the live long day, like, Lori, you are so interesting. You have so much value, right? But she needs to really 1,000,000,000% believe it in order for all of this to happen, right? In order to get to be an inspirational leader, she needs to start practicing this thought again and again and again, right? I am interesting and of value. So if Lori was thinking that thought, I'm interesting and of value, I'm so interesting and I'm totally of value, right? Then her feeling is gonna be freaking confident. And you're feeling confident, you're feeling you're interesting, you're of such value. What sort of actions would you take? Lori's such a good sport. She's like going through this whole thing because she is ready to bring it on and change her thoughts and get new results, which is so, so, so awesome and brave, by the way. So I think part of you is already there. So yes, so if you're having this thought, I'm interesting and of value, you're feeling confident, what sort of actions do you think that you might take, Lori? We'll wait to see what Lori says. So she says, I would put myself out there more and not stop at small roadblocks. I love it. Okay. Put self out there, and not stop at small roadblocks. Okay. So are we starting to see how so many times in business, we're like, well, I just want this, right? We're like, I just want to be an inspirational leader, right? It's hard to see with this light, but this says, be an inspirational leader. So we're like, we just want this. But when our present self is practicing this thought, then we're trying to jump from our present self to our future self, right? And it doesn't work like that because our present thought is always going to lead to this result. The same way that our future thought will always lead to this result. So does that make sense? You guys, does that kind of resonate? Does that make sense to you? Do you have any questions on that? So basically, you know, Lori was saying, well, I don't believe this result yet, right? And it's because we're still here. So makes so much sense. Awesome. I'm so, so glad. Right, like, you know, a lot of times we get down on ourselves, we're so upset with ourselves, we're like, why can't we move forward, right? And it's because we're stuck in this loop and we don't realize that, wait, there's this whole thing over here that we need to go through, right? And we can easily and quickly go through it the faster we start believing this new thought. So how do we believe this new thought, right? So in order to believe this new thought, we need to start finding evidence of it being true, okay? So for Lori, her new thought that she wants to believe is, I'm interesting and of value. So Lori, Lori says, I never thought of it in that way. Exactly, right? It's so funny because there's so many places where we're like, just do it, just figure it out and just do it. But it's not that simple. And once we break it down like this, we can see that, oh, I've been over here this whole time and I didn't even realize I needed to be over here, right? It makes things so much easier. That's why I'm obsessed with this work. It's so, so, so awesome. Okay, awesome. So Lori, in order to get here to this result, we're gonna start trying to find evidence that proves this thought to be true. Okay, so what sort of evidence do you have right now that you are interesting and of value? Lay it on me. So we'll wait for a second for Lori to share what evidence she has. Lori says, oh man, right? Because now our brain is doing something different, which is trying to prove a thought that maybe we haven't thought too much, right? The likelihood is we don't sit here thinking, I'm so interesting and of value, right? But if we started practicing that thought, or whatever the thought is that you choose, that thought is gonna lead to the result you want most. So that's why it's so important to have an understanding of what our thoughts are and how they are creating our current reality. Because our current reality, our results, are always just created by our thoughts. And we can't skip from here to here, right? We can't just skip it. We have to move ourselves into this arena. So, okay, Lori says, oh man, she's still thinking. She's still thinking, and that's great. But Lori, I know you can come up with it. I so have your back. So yes, so tell me the ways that you are interesting and of value. And right, these things are challenging because it's like, well, am I? Do I? Right? Our brain's going to tell us all the ways we're not. Our brain is going to say, you're not interesting. You're not of value, right? So it takes really saying, absolutely not, I am, and really thinking the ways you are. Okay, Lori says, I have a team of over 140 people. Tell me often they love my content. Boom. There's a lag in the internet. I know. There's totally a lag. So thanks for being a good sport. So, okay, Lori has a team of over 140 people. Tell her they love her content. Amazing. So what else? What else? Even more, what else would you say helps prove that thought, I'm interesting and of value? So one thing that she's thinking is there's over 100 people, almost 150 people who are literally saying to her all the time, I love your content, this is so amazing, right? And it doesn't have to be that for you, right? It can be that, you know, I called a friend who was in need. That is providing value to someone. It could be that you read a book, right? These small things that we take for granted are actually super big. And by taking into account all of the little things we do, we're gonna help ourselves see and prove this thought. Okay, Lori says, I have a wealth of knowledge in health and wellness compared to the common everyday Jane. Okay, you have a wealth of knowledge. You have a freaking wealth of knowledge, right? So much knowledge about health and wellness. Okay, so she has a team of over 140 people saying, Lori, you were awesome, I love your content. She has so much knowledge on health and wellness, so much, and she has a freaking degree. She has a degree in the medical world. So what I would do, and that is amazing, Lori, thank you so much. So what I would do is start writing down all of the things that prove and that are evidence for this thought for your future self, right? So for Lori, I'm interesting and of value. So Lori's goal would be to start really reflecting on all of the evidence that helps prove this thought. Because once your brain starts moving in that direction and starts thinking like your future self, then you're gonna start to have that thought and those feelings of confidence, which will turn into the action, which will then prove the results. And again, then you're in this circle instead of in this circle, right? So is this helpful to you guys? How does this resonate with you all? This model and this way of doing things is just so awesome and helps you clearly see how so many times we're here and we're wondering why we're not over here. We're like, wait, but this is what I really want. So why am I not there yet, right? And the only reason we're not there yet is because our mind is so used to practicing those thoughts that I'm not fully aligned. I'm not fully aligned. I'm not fully aligned. I'm not fully aligned. So when someone asks us, well, are you fully aligned yet? You're going to be like, no, I'm not fully aligned, right? So we need to shift into having this different thought and proving to ourselves with evidence that this thought is true. Okay, love this. I need work on this area of myself a lot. Okay, awesome. Awesome, Lori. I'm so excited. This is amazing. So I want to thank you guys so much for showing up and so much for being here. And let's see, Lori says, how often would you suggest telling ourselves the evidence all the time? All the time. There is no harm in telling yourself, I did this, I'm amazing, or even just, I am amazing because. Whatever you need to help prove this thought to yourself, keep repeating it to yourself. A lot of times I like to do just mindset work in the morning where I am remembering and celebrating all of these things that help me feel what the feeling is for me. Sometimes it's confidence, sometimes I want a feeling of excitement. Whatever feeling I want, I'm thinking a thought and finding evidence that new thought is true and not the thought that I'm presently in. Okay, Lori says, how often would you suggest, I already answered that. Yes, so I would suggest as often as possible, right? Because here's the thing, our mind is used to thinking one way, right? And we always go in kind of like this circular pattern of thinking. So when people are like, well, you're just in a certain pattern of thinking, it's because we're having certain thoughts that lead to certain feelings, that lead to certain actions, that lead to certain results, and we go again and again and again and again. So while we're over here in this circle and we're like, wait, but what I want most is right here. So why am I not here? It's because we're spiraling in this. So we have to retrain our brain by using evidence to prove our new thought, okay? Welcome back. OMG, what did you guys think about that training? What sort of breakthroughs did you have? Can you see how our thoughts are completely in charge of our results, and the lack that we may be seeing in our business, in our lives, of the exact results that we want are always traceable back to our thoughts and our thinking and the way that we think and the way that we proceed in our lives. So this has changed so much for me, and I know that if you went through this training, you absolutely got some sort of breakthrough, I'm assuming, because it's amazing to be able to really trace back how one thought that we don't even recognize probably we're having, because usually they are unconscious thoughts or something that we kind of push away. One thought is creating the reality we're living, and a lot of times we look around and we're like, wait, why is my reality this way? Our thoughts. So what I have for you guys today is something I'm so excited to offer, because I haven't really offered a mini way to work with me like this, but this is something that I'm doing for those of you who, who can't get my higher end packages at this point, and I really want to spread this message. I want people to know how to do this. So what's gonna happen is below you're gonna see a sales page of some of the things that I offer inside of You and Me working together. What you're gonna get is a one-on-one breakthrough session where we figure out what thought pattern you're stuck in now. So I know I gave you some of the tools to do this today, some of the breakthrough to get this today, but you and I are really gonna dig deep to figure out and map out a blueprint of the thought patterns you're having now, what type of thoughts you need to support the exact results you need, and what those results even are, right? We're gonna get you huge clarity on this so that you can move from your present self into your future self really easily. This is really the groundwork of anything you want to do in your business, whether it's start a Facebook group, whether it's get on YouTube, whether it's build your email list. This comes first, and if we don't if we don't address those thoughts and start shifting them, you'll continue to be held back. This is some of the stuff I wish I did when I actually first started off. So you're gonna get that session with me. And when you sign up, you are also going to get, in addition to the one-on-one session, you also get an alignment and clarity VIP work. What this workbook does is a lot of times we ask ourselves dead-end questions, and the questions we ask ourselves really lead us to dead-end answers. So you're gonna get an entire mindset shift on how to ask yourself the right empowering questions that allow you to make the most powerful choices back without the worry, without the wonder. I've been using this workbook for years with clients, and this is where some of those really big breakthroughs end up happening. So in addition to that, not only do you get that, but you also get my seven belief shifting secrets. I got a little lost there. Premium video training. So with that, you're gonna learn about these different energetic levels at which we operate at, and how these levels are either holding us back or allowing us to thrive. So a lot of times I combine the mindset work that I taught you in the video along with these 7 different secrets for being able to shift into the energy that you need. And you're gonna understand what that means once we kind of connect on this, in order to make things happen for yourself. So really, the entrepreneurs who do well, who see results, who see success in their business, who feel connected, aligned, fulfilled, and confident are operating at higher energetic levels. And we're gonna work on getting you into those higher energy levels with this video that you can consult at any time. And the next thing you're gonna get is the Insta Alignment Values Assessment. So, you know, a lot of times when we're surrounded by different people online, we can start to go after one thing or think success means tons of money or tons of clients or just different sort of things. And maybe it does, but unless we're really connected to what it is we truly want, then we're not gonna see the success that we want unless we know where it is we're going, right? It's like we can't get to where we're going unless we really have an idea of where that is, what it's gonna feel like along the way, and why we're gonna be compelled continuously to keep taking action. When your values are in line and in check, and when you are doing activities in your business and in your life that match those values, that's when you see the real success. That's when you feel the real fulfillment. And I have this free assessment for you guys as part of this package that's gonna help you connect to your own values, to those core heart-centered values in a deep way. So besides that, this program is only being offered to 10 people at this time. I have to put a cap on it because this is awesome work, and I want you guys to be able to take action. And I also don't have enough time to give it to more than 10 people right now. So I encourage you to sign up, because if you are one of the first 5 people who sign up, you are gonna get 2 days of Voxer access to me. So Voxer is a kind of like a voice messaging program. It's super easy. Download it on your phone. If you don't have it, we'll use Facebook Messenger. And basically, you're gonna get access to me. We're gonna be going back and forth as much as you need, so you can get all of the support, all of the help, and really any breakthrough that you need. This is really where a lot of the goodness and the breakthroughs and the support and really seeing yourself be able to understand and take those steps forward happens when we are connecting in this way with that Voxer access. So if that is something that you want, which I highly recommend, then be sure to sign up now. So just to give you guys a sense, typically I work with my one-on-one clients for upwards of $4,000 for a one-on-one package. And the Breakthrough Your Present Self session, which I'm offering, is typically $600. For the belief shifting video, it's valued at $350. For the value assessment plus the workbook, we're looking at around $197. And the reason for why these things are something you invest in is because this is really what I've learned from all of my training, from the Life Coach School podcast, from my IPEC coaching certification, from Katie Byron, from Marianne Williamson, from a ton of different people. Everything I've taken in, I've kind of combined it, made it my own, put a twist on it in a way that I think makes most sense for most of the clients that I work with, and in a way that's gonna give you the breakthrough, the understanding, the connection that you are craving, and that I know is going to help you in your business, just like it's helped me, just like it's helped my clients. Get clients, see success, finally get visible on Facebook. I have stories upon stories, and I'm gonna be sharing that in the email sequence that you guys get, but this is really where breakthroughs start, and I am excited and encourage you to take action now because it's a limited time offer, and I'm excited to bring it to the first 10 people who take advantage. So the combined total for the Breakthrough Your Present Self session, the Belief Shifting video training series, the Insta Enlightenment Values Assessment, and the Alignment and Clarity of Purpose workbook is $1147. But today it is being offered at almost a 75% discount. How awesome is that? For only $297. So I highly suggest you take advantage now while great price for all of the value that you're gonna see inside of this program. So entrepreneurs who see success in their business are aware of what it is they need, aware of what it is they're thinking, aware of their blocks, and are able to address them and make those quick decisions. So what I want you to ask yourself is, have you been on a certain path for a while of stuckness, of not feeling fulfilled, of wondering what's my next step, or of not feeling aligned, or really just feeling a ton of self-doubt? I know that I have so been there, and a lot of times what people will do is they will see these offerings that speak to them but feel that fear, right? We know it's there. We now know that that's the way that our present self typically operates. But what I want you to do today is I want you to make a choice for your future self. I want you to believe that your future self will end up with those future results that you seek most once you change your thoughts. And I am here to help you do that. The only step you need to do today is to decide to have a thought that your future self would tell you, right? Decide to have that thought that I'm worth it. I am worth it, and I'm going to invest in myself. If you're feeling connected to this, if you're feeling like, oh, I feel like this could kind of help me, then I know this is for you. And I know and believe that you're capable, and I know that I can help you. So make a choice from your future self. Don't continue down the same thought pattern. Do something different to see different results. That's what successful entrepreneurs do. That's what the 5% does, and I know you can be part of that. So I can't wait for you to take advantage of this. I can't wait to see you on the other side. We are gonna get you so many amazing results, and I can't wait to connect. So I will see you soon. Bye.